So now we're going to redo that steps 4 and 5 of that same test for the rigged jury, but we're going to do it with the p-value method, which is honestly, truthfully, the methods that I way prefer. Notice that the pictures look very similar. See this one and this one? But let me zoom in for just a second. Okay, so this one back here was the one we just did, and it's talking about alpha. This area up here is alpha, and this is z alpha down here. In the p-value method, the area left to the z0, that's not z alpha, that's z0, is called the p-value. And that number right there is z0, which we already found to be, oopsie, I'm in the wrong thing. There it is. I need a text box. We already found z0. It was negative 8.05, right? Oops, that's really small. You probably can't read that. There we go. Okay, maybe you still can't read it, I don't know, but it's negative 8.05, okay? So if that's negative 8.05, it's the Z0 test statistic we found in step 3 from before. It's not Z alpha. It's not the same thing as this graph. That's Z alpha right there, negative 3.09. This is Z0. Now the p-value itself is going to come out of Excel or StatCrunch, either one. So I'm going to have to wait on that to find what it is. So let's go find what it is, the p-value. Now, this works because this is a left-tailed test. Right-tailed test and two-tailed test work slightly differently than this. So bear with me here. You're going to find it with norm.dist or normdist, depending on which Excel version you have. Your x value is the z0 you found before. The mean, because this is a z curve, it's a standard normal curve, is 0, comma, the standard deviation is 1, comma, true for cumulative, enter. And you get that. That's your p-value. So let me type that in over here. P equals 4.1 E negative 16. Now remember what that means in scientific notation. That means that it is 15 zeros and then a 4, right? It is 4. It's really small, all right? It's essentially 0. I mean, not 0, but it's really darn close. Okay, so let me type that in right there. So P equals 0.000 13, 14, 15. There we go. Okay, let me just show you another thing real quick. Because, before I get into that, we're going to make a decision. So this was step 4 right here. Step 4. We found the p-value. I drew a little picture of it. And even though I'm drawing this with a computer, it's not a bad idea for you to get used to drawing these things by hand when you do them, just to kind of give yourself a sense of what you're doing. Step 5, this is one of the reasons the p-value method's so nice, is you don't have to worry about less and more. It's always if your p-value is less than alpha, you reject. Always. No matter what. Because what matters to you is, do you have a low probability? You knew Steve's die was rigged because it was a low probability. You know you're going to reject here, and we are. We are going to totally reject H0, the null hypothesis, because, oopsie, hold on, because P, which is that, is less than alpha, which was 0.001. And now you see why I didn't care what we did for alpha, because whatever we would have picked for alpha, it was going to be smaller than what we were going to have. So the p-value is astronomically low in this problem. Okay. And by the way, this was based on real cases, and the convictions were indeed thrown out. Okay. Just on a side note, if you reject with one method, you're probably going to reject with the other method, right? Right. All right, another thing to keep in mind is that you can do this with StatCrunch. So let me show you that. If you're in StatCrunch, you go to Stat, you go to Proportions, one sample from Summary. Number of successes was 4 out of 80. There were 4 African Americans out of 80. Calculate 0.5. There you go. Oops, it was a left-tailed test. There we go. Click that one and then click Calculate. There you go. P-value is less than